So we're making our way down from the 400 level, and we're going to do the 700 next, and then probably work our way up to the upper, stoping it at it later. But while we're headed back down to the 700 level, you can see below us the mill. So there's some foundations, and then over here, if you can make it out, you can see the tramway cable, and we're going to cross that here, kind of on this little makeshift trail that we're on. And here's the tramway cable going all the way down to where the mill was, and of course going up to where we just were at the 400 level. So we'll cross over this. And this looks like it may have been, I think, where the mine to market road is. A lot of it's just eroded away, and it kind of widens out in some places and narrows up. And here's one of those places you can see where it widens up quite a bit. We're right above the assay office structure here. Kind of do the tree thing here. We saw this coming in. So we've arrived at the 700 level, and before we get up to the attic, I just thought we'd show you this huge sheave wheel that's here. Most likely part of the tramway. All right, so here we have the 700 level. Nice big opening. I think this is the largest tunnel of this property. And a little bit of very undesirable water in here. And hopefully with these collapses and these small ground fall areas, we hopefully just won't run into anything too nasty and deep. This is very interesting looking material here. Don't see anything quite this light normally, especially in the west side of the mountains. Drill holes up here. And yeah, okay, this is what I was not hoping for. Is this section is pretty screwed. Yeah, I don't know what that is going on back there where that board is. It's not a fan. I'm trying to make my way on the edge here. Just check it out briefly.
That might be a lens.
Yeah, I don't know. Gonna have to approach with extreme caution here. I don't know, it doesn't look like it. It looks like somebody just put some boards here so they didn't get wet. And I can't say that I blame them. This water is...
That's pretty deep, stagnant water.
It's not very appealing. So, I'm sure I'll get plenty of comments about that. All right. So as I mentioned, this is one of the longer driven tunnels here. Hopefully we'll be able to get all the way through it. We won't run into anything too ridiculously deep that would require us to come back with waders. As I speak, no know, wood that's worth knocking on to knock on it. And here we go. Just some more nasty water here. I guess the only thing I can say about this nasty water is, as long as I can see the bottom, I guess that's the trade-off here. You can see where they were taking, at least for somebody, took the rail out and they put these sleepers kind of leaned up against the wall here, which isn't that uncommon to see. Got a whole mix of interesting nasty going on here. And again, as I'm kind of looking around as I walk, I'm not seeing any minerals or ore bodies or veins that are jumping out at me. Looks like we're roughly 400 feet in. This floor is kind of a little slick, it's muddy, and you gotta kind of watch your footing. Yeah, a lot of these mines years ago had some really interesting, cool artifacts in them. I'm sure there's some that still do, and actually I know there are, but unfortunately over the years people come in and even on private property and they take all the stuff out, and and the owners aren't here 24/7. It's disheartening, and kind of why we're guarded, especially if we get a permission from an owner, that we're not going to disclose anything about where we're at. But with that said, you can see all these calcite straws coming off the ceiling here. It's pretty cool. Looks like we're coming up on a interesting feature here. Look at the boards here. Probably already spotted there in the light. Looks like we have an ore chute coming from a stope or possibly an upper level. Okay, a couple things. Wow, so we got a lot going on here. Let's take this one at a time. Well, there's our ore chute, which is really cool. It's a super awesome ore chute. So we'll look at that again here in a minute. And it looks like they just went back here and chasing something or just making some space. But yeah, that's pretty.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's pretty cool. You can see. See if I can get a shot of this, but you can see maybe how it goes back. There we go. You can see all the kind of the shoring back up in there, and it goes up at a steep slope. Hard to see what degree, but it almost looks like 45 degrees.
Yeah.
It's pretty steep up in there. I'll come around to the front of this. And yeah, look at that. Wow. That's cool. See all the timbers they used for the kind of the bin portion of it. And a wooden gate on it. But yeah, that's awesome. Get by it here for a second, show you the other side. Here's another angle of it. Yeah, that's really cool. Super cool. Alright, so moving past the ore chute. barrel here. Maybe it's carbide. Kind of looks like that style of container. And a bunch of rusty iron drainage goo right next to just more goo. See where you're seeing some mineral. You can see this is kind of interesting because you can see how this calcite wash is just kind of locked in all of that iron oxide looking stuff. So it's just all this really blend of colors. Kind of interesting. I haven't seen quite it look like that before anyway. Usually it's just the calcite, but sort of interesting. See what we got going on back here. Looks like we're gonna take a left, unless this just faces out right here. Ooh, kind of gooey deep. All right, well, fortunately, it looks like this just faces out, so you see all that color there. Just taking a look at this, the geology of this tunnel here as we get back to the entrance. Maybe we do show or catch on the way in. It's a little bit interesting here. So we are back at the entrance here. So our next stops will be heading up top, and we're going to look at some of the lower numbered levels, the 250, 100 stopes, etc. So we shall see you when we start making our way up. So yesterday we kind of ended the day at the 400 level, which is what we're looking down on right now, the machine shop. The 300 level is up above here. So we're making our way up to the 300 level now, and then we're going to work our way up from there. So when we get to the top and get a little closer to the waste dump, we'll see you when we get up there. So we're making our way adjacent to this little gully, and we're at the base of the 300 level waste dump here, as you can see all right here. And I'll pan up here a bit. And right up in there, you can kind of make out the top of the waste dump. So we're going to be just kind of figuring out the best route, traversing probably up the center or the side of the waste dump here. We'll kind of step up here a little bit to give you a better view. So it's looking up the waste dump here. So somewhere up there, the top should be the 300 level. So we're gonna start scrambling up. So I'm gonna turn the camera off and resume once we get to a little better area where I can film. So we're at the top of the 300 level now. So I'm gonna walk over here to the waste dump pile, kind of show you that real quick. So here we had a little structure of some kind right in here, possibly, I don't know if it could have been an ore bin or something. Most likely not, though. The wood doesn't look robust enough to be an ore bin. And then if we walk out over here, you can see kind of how they were probably rolling the material out over here and just dumping it down here. So we came from below there. back up over here. Watch for nails here. Forest is back over there, and that's where the added entrance is. So I'm gonna get through all this. And here is the added entrance. A little bit of a tight squeeze. We got lots of air blowing out of this. It's connected to the 400 via a raise, and I believe it's also connected to the 200 levels above. So we got a lot of air movement. So we're going to squeeze down in there, and we will see you inside. Okay, so here's our first view, sliding down in. So I'm going to get off this slide pile here. And I get some light going here. Kind of get it adjusted here. All right, so this guy definitely has winds in it, we believe. So we're going to kind of take our time and assess as we go here. This is kind of an interesting looking, like, what the heck's going on here? This is really weird. I've never seen this. It looks like we're going to have to kind of scramble up and around it. That's why you don't touch the material on the ceiling. Yeah, this is really weird. Huh. Kind of forgive the filming here as we kind of pick our way through this mess. Well, that's no good.
Huh.
I don't know if that's a face or not, or a collapse. Huh, okay. Well, get through it either way and figure it out. Might be a collapse. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, that's filled in pretty good. Huh. This kind of opens up into a slightly stoped area. It doesn't go anywhere. And this went a considerable distance, this drift here, but I'm not sure if we can get by it. It looks like it's pretty sealed up. Huh. Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to scoot a little further and see if I can see what's going on up in there. So here's what I can see kind of squeezing up in here. There's definitely an ore chute right there, and then some wooden cribbing or supports to hold back a bunch of material. It looks like I can see between the wood there's a bunch of rock, so that's probably not a very awesome place to go. And safety-wise, I don't know if it goes anywhere on the other side of that. It'd be a heck of a crawl. But we're going to focus in on this other side first and see if we can establish whether we can continue the other way. And again, I apologize for the shakiness, but there's a lot of scrambling involved here. So,
Did you see all this quartz right in
yeah,
here?
there's a lot of quartz.
I mean, this is...
See what they were going for, and that's looking back towards where we came in. All right, well, I guess we're gonna
We're gonna have to dig it a little bit.
scramble up here and see what we can figure out. So I'm going to turn the camera off and we'll resume if we can get past this. All right, so we're checking out where this collapse is just to see if we can squeeze down and if there's anything we can actually do on the other side of it. So we're just not going to be reckless about this. We're just going to have Forrest here to see if he can check it out, if he can get enough material loose to get down in there. And if he can.
It's timbered all the way through in here.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, that's a slab that I'm kicking now. I think it faces.
Does it really?
Yeah, I think it fully collapsed. Now that I'm down here, all I'm seeing is rock. And a very low crawl.
That's too bad.
Hold on, I'm gonna try going in face first. See if I can see anything a little bit better here.
This is kind of where we climbed up into this soaked area. He's just gonna do a squeeze down in and see what he can see.
Yeah, we would have to, yeah, it's all collapsed. Yeah, that's fully collapsed.
Really?
Yeah, you want to pull me out?
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna. Wait, watch your back.
I am.
Okay, there you go. You're clear, I think. Well, that was unfortunate.
That's too bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, we still have
We tried.
a couple other things to check out here today. So this had not a huge amount of workings, but it was much more extensive than what we're able to see today, obviously. So it's a little unfortunate. But that's what happens over 100 and some odd years in these mines, and why they're not always the safest place to be. You kind of have to have a stomach for it and understand your limits and say, okay, we're not going to go for things that just aren't worth it. And this is that other drift that had the ore chute up in there that I don't think goes anywhere significant. And even if it did, I wouldn't want to be under all of that wood support holding back that rock that looks like it's ready to let go at any given time.
Oh yeah.
So that's definitely a no-go. All right, well, sometimes this is what happens. You know, we had the maps to this mine, so we know what it looks like on the inside and what's supposed to be here, but we're just not able to access those part of the workings. But here you can kind of see where we came through. So now that I'm on this side, I can make it out a lot more clear where they had the cribbing here to the right here, that was holding back all of this material here. And this material kind of gave way and collapsed this over. And so that's why it's leaning this way. So all this rock has collapsed this cribbing. So this little protected area they had in the tunnel is kind of starting to go. And this wood is not very stable, so you gotta really make your way through this stuff carefully. And this is all the rock. So you can see just how fractured and just crumbly this rock is. So not the best material. You can see here, it's pretty unstable material. So it's really not that shocking that this tunnel is in the shape it's in. Disappointing, but not shocking. All right. So I'm gonna kind of walk back here a second and then turn. And you can see how they were protecting the tunnel. And there was kind of like a door, so you can see the door here. And it's kind of cool because you can still see the handle right here. So here's the handle for the door that you would grab onto and pull it. It's kind of neat to see. So they must have had this cribbing protecting either side of the tunnel. Then they have this door that they would kind of maybe just keep shut on this little area for whatever reason. So, and you can see the daylight coming through the adit that we slid in. We got to crawl back up. Forest coming back through. Another shot looking back down here to give you an idea what that looked like, since we were kind of scrambling over it earlier and you couldn't really get a good feel for it. Alright, so I'm gonna get back to catch up to Forrest here. Climb back up this sloughed in area. You can kind of see, it's hard to see maybe perspective wise, but it's really not a lot of space. I'd say it's, I don't know, 24 or 30 inches max. So I gotta get really low here. I'm gonna shut this light off and crawl out of this thing. Almost out. Okay, so back out and onward and up to our next thing we can find out here. Definitely more to look for. We'll just see how accessible it all is. Well, first off, when we were making our way above the 300, we came across this, which doesn't appear to be mapped. We don't see it on any of our maps. So we're going to check that out on our way out. We can feel clear airflow coming out of it, so it may be connected to some of these upper workings in the open stopes. All right, so we're going to continue forward here. We saw some things from below that we wanted to check out. So what we should be coming up on right now is the 250 level. And you can kind of see in front of me right there, there's a structure that's collapsed. Forrest is going to go look above here, see what he sees up there. A lot to wrap your head around up here, and or possibly miss if you're not really looking around carefully. So we're kind of trying to do this a little slower. Looking down to where the 300 was, kind of seeing poking up right there, there's some dimensional lumber, where there was something maybe down there, or some of the structure slid down the hill. But this clearly was some sort of a cabin or something here. And you can make out the doorway there. You can see what looks to be maybe a waste dump across from me there as well. But one thing at a time. Take a look at the condition of this adit, which doesn't look great. You can see that already. But definitely looks like it can be accessed. Just another crawl in. You can see the door right there. And I'll show you that better when I get my light out. But I'm going to check our map. But this should be, without a doubt, the 250 level. So we're going to look around here for half a second, set our packs down, and get our stuff on. Here's a view of that structure that collapsed. Kind of looking from above here. Okay, sliding into the 250. You can see the door here. And so far, it looks good, other than the entrance being a little messed up. So this one is very interesting on the maps. This material is really soft. All right, so there's our no-go winds. Oh, wow, that's crazy. So this opens into an open pit that drops straight down. I'm not going to get too close to this edge, but you can see the daylight, and I'll turn off my light here. You can see the daylight coming down from the stopes above. That's pretty cool. And that goes a ways down. Kind of faces here, so there's not much to the tunnel, but you can see across over there, and you can see this thing drops way down. And this material is really soft, so I'm not going to get too close because I don't know how stable it is. And you can see some shoring, that greenish looking or something that they were using. That's crazy. And then kind of looking back at where we came in at. All right, so there's one last look at the opening that's going into the winds and stope coming from above. And over here, let me turn my light back on. Because of that light coming in, we actually turned all of our headlamps off because there's so much light coming from the surface. You can see this here, all the drill holes here. Yeah, that's insane. It's pretty crazy. All right, so we're gonna make our way back out of here, and we got several more adits to try to locate here. Give you some perspective there of the entrance. So we scrambled across from the 250 adit, and now we are at another one. And according to our maps, this doesn't show anything as far as being part of the 200. I mean, it's probably part of the 200, but we don't see it specifically. There are a couple other adits listed as 200, and this one is about the same elevation as the 250, so we'll have to do a little more digging on this and figure out, no pun intended, what it actually is. But just taking a quick look inside, it looks to be good. My suspicion is, there's a door there, that this thing goes in and hooks to the left and may meet up to that big nasty stope winds that we saw just at the portal we were just at. But there's only one way to find out. So we're gonna slide down in the sky. And there's our door. So we'll see. Proceed with caution. See what this thing does. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking this does. Yeah, okay. So it definitely, well, there's a lot going on here. All right. So let me get my lights up to speed here. Full bright. Get my headlamp up to speed here. I don't know why I'm saying this, I'll probably cut all this out. Okay. So there's a lot going on here. So across from us, you can see, and I'll get my light where I can point, straight over there, there's another adit across. This is the stope that goes up to the surface, and then it winds straight down. So right about here, so right over here, around the corner from where I'm pointing is where we were looking in a minute ago, I believe.
Wow.
And we probably were looking, pretty sure this is where we were looking in, or we could have been looking in further down, actually.
We were looking in further down.
Yeah, now that I look at this.
Because we could see that little bump up berm area right there.
Yeah, you're
from
right.
That tunnel across.
So we're
directly across, basically.
we're kind of 2 down from where we were, if you will.
Yeah.
But man, that thing goes way the heck down. You could see they had a door here or something to protect it. So, this is all really super interesting. What makes it more interesting, if you turn them around, we got something going on back here too.
Wow.
So we're gonna go back here for a minute. Looks like,
Holy shit.
wow.
Wow. That goes down for...
What do we got going on back here? This is pretty wild. Looks like we got some stairs here. So you see these stairs. These are pretty sturdy looking stairs. And here we have something that's collapsed in. Yeah, that goes nowhere. And there's those stairs again. Which are really cool. So here's kind of a perspective shot of what the height of this is, and you can kind of tell how big the stope is just by looking at Forrest here, standing in front of it, seeing how far up it goes. It's definitely really, really cool. And then another shot of that door, the door there. Okay, well, so far, after the 300 level was a bit disappointing with the collapse, this portion seems to be a gold mine. Haha, no pun intended. Just keeps on giving here, so super awesome. Just looking at what I climbed down through. So we're gonna scout around right outside of here and figure out what our next move is, and we'll see you when we get there. So we're coming across from the attic we just came out of. Okay, this is super impressive. I'm about to show you guys. So here, there's Forrest, or some surface workings and probably some like tunnels driven in over here, and it goes all the way up here, and this is just massive. It's really super impressive. And this drops way, way down in this hole here. Just look at how big these workings were. Wow. It's just all open cut on the surface.
Damn it.
And behind us, there's quite a bit more to take a look at. So we're going to do that as well. All right, we're going to go back the other way. You might have heard Forrest. There's obviously quite a bit to see this way as well. So, get over here.
So, we came from that open cut over there.
Oh wow, yeah, there's a lot going on over here.
And this is a shaft. It looks like it's
This thing goes
probably
right down.
filled in. But it
And over here,
that mountain right there, that's awesome.
you can see more shoring, and I believe where we just were, possibly there was a slide in area. So right back in there, when we walked through the tunnel, it was filled. It may be right there that the slide occurred. But look at this rock arch up here. And it's just crazy. Absolutely awesome looking though. And that, there's no telling how far down that goes. So definitely you can see material in there, but what it does around that corner, or if that's just a filled shaft, I'm not sure. But I think I can see daylight just coming through. So above this, this probably continues from up above here and a shaft right to there. So, and there's forest in the shot for some perspective to how big this area is. Some very impressive surface workings here. So now we're above the 250 level at it, where we saw the big opening that went to the surface stope and dropped down. And there's an opening up there that we're not sure what it does yet. But down here, you can kind of see the stoles going across, supporting. Let's see if I can point it out, like right there. It's a little, try not to get it blurry, but there you go. It's hard to see. That's easier to see in person than it is probably on the video. But you can see all of that shoring support, those stoles, and this thing just drops down forever. I mean, it goes and goes. So, see if I can zoom it back out here. And that kind of gives you some perspective, but super impressive. And I think we're going to walk around the edge and just take a look at that hole and see what we got going on with it. Okay, so this is that opening we saw from across the big surface stope, and there's a lot going on here. And it's kind of, I gotta watch my steps so if my camera's not pointing right. But there's a lot going on in here. I'll see if I can get my light to show the best I can. You can see where there would have been boards going across these, making a platform, because this just drops into the abyss down below. So, and then picks up on the other side somewhere. Really hard to get the best lighting here. But yeah, that's really insane. And then over here, you have that other drop. So I'm kind of standing between the two. So I don't want to move a whole lot. Yeah, it's crazy. Needless to say, we won't be going in this one. All right, so we came across from the open cut and tunnel we just looked at to the next one. And so we're looking across at an opening in this open cut right there that has some stoling across it. And straight below me, this thing just dives straight down. We're going to try to make our way around to the other side of it and see if we can get a better view from kind of above where that tunnel is. But it's a lot of loose material on the edge of this and definitely aren't going to get too close. So we'll see what the other side here looks like. This is just kind of the lay of the land of the other side. Looking across here, And this is kind of the other side of that cut we were just looking at. And it really drops down. You can see some of the timbers, and it goes way down to the right there pretty aggressively. So there's just open cuts all over the place. You can see the daylight over there. I mean, right through there where we kind of were looking in from the other side. And here we have another open cut that drops down. Hard to see where it goes. A little bit of timbering in there you can see, maybe. It's probably not picking it up, but I'll try to zoom. Kind of see it there in the center of the screen. Okay, so we're back to the adit we passed right before the 250 level. And so now we're gonna go down and check this out as we make our way back down the mountain. It's kind of a slide in. Alright. We're in. Okay, we got a sort of a slide here. And it looks like it goes up and to the left, and maybe faces, and then to the right. Check that out coming back out. So we're going to go to the right. Lots of air movement in here. It kind of opens up quite a bit in here. Some sort of a steel apparatus, not sure what it is. And here we have an interesting little blocked area. I think I know why it may have been blocked. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't look fun.
No,
I think that's stable.
that's why I'm not going all the way on it, but
Holy crap.
continues on over there. I almost think this wraps around. You know, these boards are in better condition.
Yeah, they're in pretty bad shape.
I don't trust it.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
All right, so after assessing this crossing and the depth and not being able to see how well those logs are seated, and there's really only two of them there, and all these supports are broken, we've opted not to cross it. It's just not worth it. This thing probably is, 50, 75 feet down. It's just one of those things that we're just not going to take the risk. We just can't see how well the ledge is, and this material in here is pretty crumbly, so we can't tell how well those logs right there are seated into the ledge, and if that material could give way, either we're going down or we're not getting back over. So that's just a decision we made, so sorry to disappoint anyone.
I mean, there's some cord stringers inside of these walls, though.
Yeah, there's some.
Like right here.
Well, that about does it for this mine exploration adventure. We appreciate you coming along with us, and we'd like to say thanks for following us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, and we hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, comment, and if you like what we do, subscribe. And until our next adventure, take care.